And welcome into the League of Extraordinary GMs podcast. We're back. It's 2024. Not as sharp because we haven't done this in a year, but here we are, brother. It's time.
Has it been a year?
Yeah, I think, I mean, minus 2 months, but I think our last one was probably right after Halloween.
Good God. Lazy right? GMs. But extraordinary.
Way.
Yeah. Handsome, lazy, extraordinary GMs.
HLOEGM.
There's something there, like Holgums. We're Holgums.
Hold
yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited to talk football. We've been texting for maybe 3 weeks now about this. I don't know. With like all of the changing of the league, taking a break was great. But then getting it back together and the new additions, the Zoom the other week, I keep talking about how Derek is he's worth his weight, and the humor he immediately brought with the diversity hire thing. I just texted him like, "That's how you want to introduce yourself. I love that. You're the best."
Yeah, we'll talk about the new league members. I'm a little bit nervous about tonight, so I brought some friends with me. Bobby J and Mad Bum, two of my favorites.
Bobby J, does he have high socks? Did they put high socks on that?
He got my lipstick on his head.
Oh, God. I loved Bobby J. Do you remember where he went to college?
No high socks. Where did he go to college? No, I don't know.
I'm pretty sure it's Minnesota. Tommy's going to fact check us. But I remember sitting around and watching him with you guys. Like, I'm almost certain Bobby J was a Minnesota guy, and they like made a great run. Oh, yeah, I got to look this up.
But yeah, like you were alluding to, I love the new league members. We've been trying to craft an environment where everybody's engaged. Everybody has the same friendly, have fun mindset. And I think we found a good group, with Ross and Sam we brought in, and Tim and Derek. Obviously, Sam's been with us since birth. Ross and Tim from my neighborhood, and Derek from yours. So it's good additions, and not to take away anything from those they replace, because those are good dudes too. But trying to craft an environment of very friendly competition, and I think all these people get it.
Yep. And smart. I mean, immediately, whether it's constructing these new teams that they're constructing or understanding what they're doing in the draft and the single quarterback. I actually really enjoying looking at the way, like Ross and Tim and Derek are creating these leagues. They're going to be really good teams. I mean, Ross's team has Jalen, Tua, Jamar, and Puka, and you're like, oh, okay, that's not a team I plan on going up against successfully very many times. And then your trade today with Derek, which allows him to have the top two running backs in Dynasty and then pick up multiple wide receivers later. It's fun having guys who are smart but also aren't, in it only to win. Well, and Tim has CD and Tyreek. What a butthole. Yeah, good teams.
Yeah, and I would love to come up with more ways for all of us to connect virtually, like whether it's we do this podcast and we bring people through and just chat together, or I don't know, maybe we figure out some dumb video game where we get to play together, or play poker online or something, or we open like a OnlyFans account and make some money. I don't know. I mean, all the options are on the table.
Yeah, I mean, I know Derek plays video games. I mean, I'm bad at all video games that aren't Clash Royale, but that's the excuse. Man.
Well, you and Ryan would smash us at that.
I'm pretty good at Clash Royale. I like that one. It's the pooper video game. You just go in and you play for 3 minutes.
Yeah, but yeah, seriously though, like I feel like with this making this happen and then making some sort of hangout happen
Mm-hmm.
a couple times a month, it's not a big leap, Like,
Right,
hey guys, let's we just have to find the media, the
right,
medium for it for the meetup.
right.
But we'll figure it out.
And I think what's cool about a dynasty is like all other people's leagues are fall specific, right? So like if you're in any redraft, right now matters, and that's not true in a dynasty league. And so in the event that we were to do a dynasty draft, we could do a random weekend in May or June,
Yeah.
and then that doesn't impact like any of you like, oh well, I'm doing a work league or I'm
Summer.
doing,
Yeah.
yeah, and wives are none the wiser. Just saying.
Yeah. No, yeah, it can just be an off weekend in February or March. It doesn't even
Yeah,
have to be centered around a football event. It can just be like, hey, let's get together.
yeah, yeah.
And yeah, we'll figure that out. And I think this podcast can be utilized to help bring that together and continue that conversation for sure.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think having multiple people on to chat and find out more about people and more about I don't know, just let us all bullshit for an hour, 40 minutes. It's awesome.
Yeah. So, what do you think we should talk about tonight? I have a couple ideas, but I want to hear what you think would be interesting.
Well, I think I don't know. I mean, anything, right? I mean, we've got our draft going right now, and
Yeah.
like moves are really starting to happen. It's funny. I this morning woke up and was like, it'd be really great is if I did like a random pickup in the dynasty league while no one's paying attention, and then you and Albertson a trade. Like 2 hours later, I was like,
Oh my gosh.
that's funny.
I've been trying to get Tank Dell off him for over 12 months.
Yeah.
And he didn't have to do that trade. And I tried to overload the trade and he wouldn't let me. I'm like, no, I want to take Dell. Like I just like in Dynasty, to me, it's all about like get the players you like and want to root for.
Right.
And I don't care if I win. I just want the guys on my team that I like. And unfortunately, we like a lot of the same guys, so that can't always happen.
That was really close. So you texted me today when you got that, and I was like, "Well, I know he's picking up Tank Dell because that's my next pick if he doesn't."
I know. I kind of. It would have been better for our startup draft, which was happening at the same time, to not have that trade go through, like
Right.
clearly identifying a target.
Yeah.
So once that went through, I was like, "Oh shit." I need to trade up and grab some picks to get Tank Dell because when this thing rolls back into the fifth,
Yeah.
Chatham or Nick
Yep.
they're gonna grab him, and then I have to make another trade.
Yeah.
So,
It's funny. I mean, you, Nick, and I pick very similarly.
yeah.
And also, I mean, I've run a couple many mock drafts just sitting there like, why not? And I texted you whatever 3-ish weeks ago and said it's really fun that my 9-year-old is now obsessed with mock drafts, and so he'll just sit there. And so like my work one is tomorrow, and I'm the 12th round, and I'll just like get it up, and I'm like, you run one. And then he'll be like, what do you think of our team? And I'm like, dude, we can't do that. Like, that's a bad call. That guy's too early. And it's all because of the just sleeper ADP. But watching Eddie watch this unfold is really fun. He's like, wow, I mean, Mr. Pakula took 2 running backs in the first 3 rounds. You said that's a bad call. I'm like, he did get the 2 best guys. I mean,
Yeah.
it's probably going to work right now.
Yeah. No, and with that approach, like even though he gave up his next 2 picks, he can still load up on like veteran and mid-round wide receivers and get a second quarterback, like a veteran quarterback, and still be highly competitive. And he has my first round pick next year.
Yep.
So it's the way we do trades. There's no value lost.
Right.
Right.
Which I do think is
they're all really good moves.
I do think it's important to talk about what you and your brother created.
Yeah, we'll talk about that for sure.
Yeah. I just think it's awesome. It makes, even if it ends up kind of wrong, like let's say you miss on a player, like I wanted Waddle, and Waddle's always hurt, but like I lost a lot, but I didn't lose everything because it's like, well,
you just gave a late round pick to get the guy you wanted.
Exactly. I lost
mid round. We'll call it mid.
Yeah.
12 out of 22. Anyway, all that and more on the League of Extraordinary GMs podcast. Yeah, I wasn't ready for the first ending of that. We'll edit that out in post.
Thought you just let it keep going. I mean, I was like, God, this really is a good little riff. Didn't Sam make that? Sam or Nick or?
No, that was on Fiverr.
That's right.
Yeah, I for the logo and for the sound. So it was, not using anything copyrighted. As much as I love the Hote intro from Kill Bill that we used to use, I was like, I don't know how this works. I don't want to step on toes, get in trouble.
Yeah, have to pay somebody something.
Not that we're approaching monetizing this, but
I know.
Cost a few bucks, get our own licks.
Yeah.
But I did. So on that topic, I tried to get shirts made with our new logo and got turned down because I'm guessing because it looks too much like the League of Extraordinary Gentlemen logo.
Right.
So I don't know. I'm gonna hit up a local shop and just be like, hey, I'm not gonna sell these things. Like I'm not trying to encroach on copyright infringement. If this is too close, let me know. I'll change it a bit if I have to. So my thinking with the shirts moving forward is that maybe get everyone a shirt.
Cool.
And then instead of making a new shirt every year, like I just have like maybe like iron on badges, like just a little badge that's stitched or something that has, like 2024 champ or whatever. But that's my thought. I still definitely owe Tommy a shirt. My other thought is there's 2 trophies floating around out there.
Jeez.
As far as I know, one of them is with Cody, and one of them is with Amy.
Yeah.
That one I'm not going to worry too much about.
That one's gone.
Yeah, that's fine. She threw it away. That's fine. Don't mind. Someday she wants to get rid of it. We'll take it. But yeah, not going there.
Yeah, she might not reach out to let us know it exists.
But I think it would be cool to recreate the trophy system. I think the trophy system is fun.
Trophy's fun.
Yeah. So before the season's over, those are two of my goals that take way too much time, unfortunately. Anyway, so back to business. Tonight, we're going to talk about, I think we talked about the new league members a little bit. Let's just talk about the startup draft, how to navigate that, what are the best resources for that, and go from there.
Perfect. Yeah, as you've made clear many times, the sleeper ADP is poo-poo caca for a bunch of reasons. One, the tight ends. Like currently, Laporta's first, McBride's third, Kincaid, Bowers, Pitts, Kelsey. And like in there you have, actually that's the only one who breaks that up is Ayuk at the second. So that
I think we're getting in that range. Like the way I look at those tight ends is look at the projected points.
Right. That's what I was going to say. I always just click projected points, but then I also go over and do flex or reception flex or whatever. But like you get rid of the quarterbacks at that point. And in doing that, then you're like, all right, so currently actually, if you did that, then Derrick Henry's first, and then it's Kelsey Laporta, and then it goes a while until you get to Andrew Smith.
Wait, why are you seeing Derrick Henry?
But so
he's way down the list for me.
If you go all, sorry, here we go. If you go all on the phone.
Oh, and then sort by points.
Exactly.
Got it.
And then you go sort by points. It. But then you get over to flex. Now it gives you the people's whose points are higher.
Yeah. No, that's definitely valuable, but when you're just sorting by points,
right.
You're ignoring long-term value.
Right. 100%.
Which the ADP obviously is giving you some insight into the value. However, like we were saying, sleeper ADP is decent, but we think that there's other resources that are better, which is a good thing to talk about. So should we talk about let's talk about the other resources.
Right. So that's what I was just trying to say was as good of a job as this does, it's super limiting because it just aggregates whatever the people that are on the app are using. So other resources, you want to take that?
We absolutely buy into the player profiler dynasty rankings. Make sure you have Superflex checked. You can change your strategy, whether it's win now, neutral, or rebuild. At this point, most of us are neutral, except maybe Albert, who is all about the long game. Someday he will be champ again. And it'll change the values based upon which one of the strategies you select.
Right. And I would argue that even if you stuck with sleeper, it's not as bad as I don't know how. I just know Derek, right? And so I know Derek's coming over from Yahoo, and he uses Yahoo, and like the Yahoo has Eddie, right, and grandparents and moms who are just in family leagues and are like, I love Travis Kelce because I love what he's doing with his girlfriend, and then they pick that person in the first round. And so that just ruins the ADP. And if you're at least on Sleeper, like you kind of know what you're doing. You've paid enough attention to find a better app. And so if you're going just strictly app, that's it. But if you print out the Sleeper, like I was telling Warren, I was telling you earlier, I was super bummed I didn't bring I have an actual folder because we're sitting in the most mundane meetings where it's like, we changed this about the student handbook. Please read the blue letters for the new rules. So anyway, so I was sitting there today just doing math and then texting you and then texting Nick and writing all the like numbers down that Albert and you had created as far as the trading is concerned. And these people are looking at the list. I'm like, don't look at my list. It's a super flex. You don't even know what that means. It's a very confusing. Like, stop looking at this. Oh, yeah, I have a draft tomorrow.
I don't see what you're doing.
I have a draft tomorrow. Should I take Josh Allen first? No, you should not take Josh Allen first. No, that's not what you should do.
Single QB redraft.
Yeah, single QB, like in PPR leagues. Like, anyway, it was fun. It was really fun to do it. And then like I was sitting next to the math teacher who's obsessive, and she was like, "Oh my gosh, this is so much fun! What you're doing." But yeah, using Player Profiler for that is just awesome.
Yeah.
Do you want to explain how you guys created the trade?
Sure. Yeah, that's a good idea. So let's see if I can present again.
I
took Player Profiler's rankings. So in a Superflex rankings, this is the lifetime value for every asset,
right,
in their rankings. And so we just took this column, the lifetime value and the rank, and moved it over to round 1, 1 through 10. Here's the value. 11 through 20, here's the value, yada, 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 all the way down. These columns over here are the 2025 rookie pick values, and then 2026, and so on. So Albert pivoted it into a table so that you would see for each person's picks, here's the value of each person's pick. So if you want to trade picks, here's the value of each slot. Right. And he created some really cool formulas that would calculate, like, I'm trading my first and my second, yada yada, fourth, but our formula broke, so these tables down here aren't working right now. So what I've been doing is, like, I just offered Albert a trade for his fifth, his 510 and his 601. So what I do is just like, I just come over here in the spreadsheet, I just make a little table off to the side.
So saying that, have you done any work on the 2025 or 2026 class?
No, absolutely not.
It was funny because you first offered me the 2025 one for, well, that's not true, actually. Sorry.
When first we did neighbors, but
yeah. So when we did the neighbors and we were trying to figure that out, it was like, and you offered that, and I was like, wait, 2025, should I know the 2025 first rounders? And so I actually today, because I was so bored, I went and looked at them. And I just to be clear, the two of the 4 top running backs in 2025 are Ohio State running backs. Which I mean to say gives me
Henderson. What's the guy's name?
Yeah, so Travion Henderson, who's been pretty high on for a while.
Yeah, we thought he would come out this year, but he got hurt, right?
He got hurt, and because he had such a breakout freshman year. But then there's this other guy.
There's another one. Quentin
Exactly.
Judkins.
Quinshon Judkins, who has had 2 1,000-yard seasons. But the whole
At Ole
point is
Miss.
if you look at
Wow.
no, that's not the same guy, is it? Is that a
Yeah, Quentin Judkins, he had all that production at Ole
Oh, right.
Miss, and he
And
transferred.
and now he's at Ohio State. So you're
Wow.
looking at this and you're like, "But what does that tell us?" Right? So, like, does
What
it
did
tell
that
us
tell
that
us about Travion Henderson?
that's what I mean. So is Travion Henderson, like, I mean, he had a really rough year with injuries and whatever. So I really what I appreciate about it, and you don't need to go back to it, but when you look at the first thing that you put up contingent numbers that are really low for those guys because they're not real products yet. They're not really even prospects. Sorry, that's a better word. So, like,
Right.
today I asked you, I said, hey, do you remember what the Ken Walker stuff was? Because I just remember Ken Walker was the number 2 in a draft. As far as players coming out of that draft, it was Brees Hall, Ken Walker, and Garrett Wilson were really the top 3 guys coming out of that draft. And then, Ken Walker had a great season, like a phenomenal rookie year, and then not a great season last season, but he had a great season if you take out the injuries. I mean, as far as points per game. And then you move on. But, like, the other guys in that draft, it was Treylon Burks. Like, I think when you showed me that, I think the text you sent me was like Treylon Burks was like 4th, right? He was like the 4th prospect in that draft. And I just think that I appreciate that whatever you guys did values every single, like, if you look at the player production rate of, like, George Pickens, who was a 3rd round pick for us in the dynasty. Maybe I think I got him in the 2nd round.
Yeah.
Right. So, like, but he is a producing NFL player. So I just think that it's such a cool thing that you guys did to show that and not, oh, it's a 1st rounder. It's worth 300 points.
Yeah, and that's obviously the best part about this league, where we're not trying to take an edge or take gains from each other. We always try and share the maximum amount of information with each other. Even today with the trade I made with Derek, he I was at the store, and we had our trade pending, and Tim wanted to counter, and Derek texted me back. He's like, hey, like, I rejected the counter, so what happens now? And I was like, let's just wait, like, let's make sure you're getting the maximum value out of these assets you're trying to trade, because obviously the assets you're trading are the most interesting to the league. So let's see what you can get. So if you can get something better, go get it.
Yep.
And that just, like, instills the culture of what we're doing in our league. If
Yep.
somebody can offer Derek something better in that trade, great, go get it.
Well, so saying
Won't
that,
be offended.
Warren, you and I yesterday, when was Neighbors? Was that yesterday or this morning?
Both.
Yeah, you're right. Right. You're right. We slept on it.
For the rest of life.
Yeah. But I will be bummed, just like Bijan Robinson.
Oh gosh.
I almost took him in this just to say I have him. So yesterday,
Might have to give him back.
when you took Bijan, or when you took Neighbors, I was like, I need him now. And then you sent a trade, and I'm like, oh my God, that's a lot for a guy who may or may not produce based on his quarterback situation. Whatever. So then this morning, the other guy I wanted was Waddle. That's who I was targeting sort of in my, like, next pick. But I knew that I was going to have to probably trade for Neighbors. I just didn't want it to be you. And so then I started talking with Nick. And I think what was super cool is, and this is not something that happens in any leagues, it's actually really hard to create in a league, especially a year-to-year league, but something that you have made abundantly clear in the 5 years, 10 years that we've been, well, probably the last 5 years. No, I know, but as we started to change what we're really doing here, and really, especially with the dynasty.
Yeah, the last 3.
Yeah, well, yeah, but even, yeah, fair,
Yeah,
whatever.
before then, like,
yeah, I would say,
create a
something where,
environment.
and so you created a 3-way trade where I was like, I don't see how this really helps me. I get the guy I want, but then I'm like out a lot. I felt I was out a lot, even though the numbers seem good. And you, with the thing that is super good that you do that not a lot of people do, is they just go, you were like, you don't like it, go for something else. And you literally said, I said, I think this is what I'm going to do with Nick. And you said, go for it. I think that's great. And just that kind of confidence coming from you is it changes the culture. So then it's really easy. If another guy says the same thing to me, I'm like, well, what am I doing? This is silly. We're just supposed to enjoy. Like, I love Waddle. I want to do the little Waddle when I beat Tommy, and I'm going to send it to him 100 times. And that makes it more fun.
Yeah, you can probably get Waddle off Tommy fairly reasonably in the OG Dynasty League.
I offered just babysitting Sophie at Thanksgiving. He already gave it to me. I'm sorry. Did you not see that come through? Did that trade not come through yet? Why don't you talk about that? Why don't you talk about what to listen to? Because I can very easily say that for entertainment purposes, there's nothing more entertaining. I don't care if you listen to comedy. I don't care what you listen to. Fantasy Footballers is the most entertaining thing
absolutely
on the internet. The other day, like, I don't even, like, it's so hard. They were talking about Keenan Allen being fat. Did you hear that one?
Yeah, Keenan.
Yeah. And then Jason made a comment about his body fat percentage, and he's like, I mean, I'm only like 60%. And like did you hear that? It was like a 3-minute bit that they did. I'm like, what do you think people, if they haven't seen this, what do you think people think I look like? I was fucking dying.
Yeah.
They are so fun. If you're a casual fan, I don't think there's anything more fun in the world.
No, the Fantasy Footballers is definitely the most entertaining show to listen to adjacent to football. And I anxiously await each podcast that comes out, especially right now, because once we get into the season and it's
you need to
it's like
bandwidth, and
it's like waiver talk and blah 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 talk and lineup talk. Like, it gets less fun, like that's since we don't play. I don't play redraft anymore.
Right.
But for those of you that do, please continue to listen to them because it's great.
But it's not helpful. They're not helpful on the dude. I think my favorite that you put a little Easter egg in our thread was the Tank Bigsby. Do you want to tell? Want to tell what they did? They're so funny.
Yeah, it was their My Guy episode. So it's like their most anticipated episode of the year is the My Guy episode. So you each pick 3 My Guys. And they have, since they're really well produced, they have all these sounders. So it's all sound bites, and Mike Wright, one of the hosts, does all the music for them. And when it was Andy's turn to announce his next My Guy,
the last My Guy,
the sounder was loaded with Tank Bigsby.
But did you hear the follow-up?
Yeah, with the
wife,
with the mailbag, next episode. Yeah.
So the next episode, this guy writes in and said, I made my wife listen to you one time, and now we have a marital spat because she wasn't listening, and all she took from the whole My Guys thing was take Bigsby, which was a joke, and then that was her first pick. She went with the 102. She picked
So
Take
do you think
Bigsby.
that's real, or do you think somebody just like emailed that in just to get on the show?
That's a good question. I will tell you, in our work league, somebody picked Amari Cooper at the 102 his rookie year. And I was the 103. So it went CMC, Amari Cooper, and I took Saquon Barkley. And we all looked at him and we were like, but why? And he's like, they were talking about him on the radio. And I was like, so maybe it's real.
Yeah, maybe it's real. That's why I don't play redraft.
I
can't get wrapped up into drafting Tank Bigsby in the first round.
I need you to be present from 5 to 7 on Saturday while I do an auction draft. I'm just letting you know. I need you there.
So you're not going to be there this time. You're usually there.
Yeah, we had a really unfortunate blow up of a league.
That's too bad.
It was really bad. So I took over commissioner, which is good. I don't have anything else going on in my life. 4 kids and 2 jobs.
No coaching.
Yep. I just also became the divisional manager of Eddie's baseball league. So whatever.
Yeah. Not busy at all.
But it was a bummer. It really, I mean, this will never make it to any of those people who listen. But like basically, long story short, the commissioner didn't pay anybody out, and we all put in $200 for 12 guys. Yeah, and I'm not talking. I mean, like in July, no one had heard anything. We've scheduled the draft the 3rd week in August for 10 years, and he was supposed to host it. So a couple guys got pissed and left, which was fair. And then I had to find the guy, and he had been going through some life stuff. It was weird. It's just a bummer. I mean, we're not young, right? So like big things happen, and yeah, it was a bummer. But anyway, so
for those leagues where you're not sure, use League Safe.
What's that mean?
It's a website. It's free. So everybody puts their buy-in to League Safe.
Oh, I love that.
And then the payouts come out of League Safe. So whereas like Yahoo would charge you like 10%, right? If it's a paid league.
Right.
League Safe is free.
Okay.
Yeah. Use League Safe for when it's with our group, everybody gives me the money and I have to hang on to it. Whatever. It's just sitting in my Venmo account, basically.
Right.
And
everybody in that league now trusts me, but I do think it would be just
League Safe is the way to go. And I'm sure League Safe probably the way they make it free is they probably use those static funds to
invest.
Put them into a whatever to make some money. Good for them.
100%.
It's all guaranteed. So our player profiler league that we are in with Cody and formerly Matt, who now cannot be in the league because of fast draft, which we should talk about. Maybe we'll talk about that next.
Yeah, let's do that.
But yeah, that Dynasty League that we're in together, they use League Safe because it's a bunch of people that doesn't know each other. So that money goes into League Safe.
Transitioning. Why isn't he in it though? I was confused by that.
So because he's now an owner operator of a fantasy sports product, his lawyers advised him to remove himself from competing in paid fantasy environments.
Okay. Just because there's a conflict, or they think that, or people might think that he has insider information? I mean, we know he has insider information.
Yeah, it's probably just like, we probably don't have to. That's probably not the best place to dig into, but just not a good place for him to be having. As an operator, you don't want to be a public gambler.
Got it.
Let's put it that way.
Got it. That makes sense.
So he transferred ownership of all of his teams in the patron leagues to another guy, a friend of the show, who now runs all the patron leagues.
Okay. Well, that's cool.
But Cody's still in there, so that's fun.
You want to talk about Fast Draft?
Yeah, we should, because we're obviously strong supporters of that. I won't get too far in depth, but Fast Draft is the gaming product of Player Profiler. I don't get to play it, which is really sad. But Chatham, you do, and you should, please. Everyone else in this league, except for me and Ross and Tim, can play Fast Draft. So it falls into the same arena as DFS. So if you can play DFS, you can play Fast Draft. And they have 2 games. They have the Pick 6 All Flex League. So you pick 6 players. It's all flex positions, no quarterbacks. And then out of your 6, it's a best ball format. Each week you start 4, and I think it's a total point system. And then the other one is all rookies. So your draft is same sort of concept where you're drafting rookies in a best ball format, which rookies will score the most points in the season. I think the premise of Fast Draft is that it's super fast. So you can go take a dump and finish Fast Draft and be done. Like, all right, I just did a $5 entry into this $2,500 payout on Fast Draft while I was taking a dump. And that's how Matt actually kind of sold it. Is like, I just want to play a game while I'm taking a dump. And, they played around with the branding of it, and they're like, dump draft, taking a shit draft.
Funny.
None of those names were really selling, so they went with Fast Draft.
Which is okay. It's okay that those didn't sell.
But I am looking for a surrogate. If anybody wants to be my surrogate, I will absolutely back them on Fast Draft. Not Chatham. I want you to do it on your own, because I think you'll have fun.
So my way of bringing this up is, how do I find Fast Draft? Because it's actually not super easy to find. It's not an app.
Yes, it is.
Oh, it is. What's it called?
Fast Draft.
You show me. It might not be on my fake. Oh, no, it is. Here it is.
There it is. So I've actually been mock drafting on Fast Draft, because they have mock draft tools. You can mock draft any sort of league, dynasty, redraft, on your phone. Just like beep, beep, beep.
Let's see. I'm gonna.
And so listening to Matt on his podcast talk about it, he's like, his investors, his backers, like, why are you putting all this money into this mock draft platform? Like, because I want it.
Yes.
I want a platform. I want to be able to mock draft on my phone.
Yep.
I want to play this game. I want to play games on my phone. But we can't monetize that. Like, I don't care. No, I just want something fun. And so they made it. So it has the two games which are monetized, the Origins, and I don't know what the other one's called. Origins is the rookie one, and then the Flex 4, I think, is the other one. Those are the two paid games. And then you can also just mock draft for fun. So once we get far enough along in our startup draft with this second Dynasty League, instead of rolling back into a best ball sleeper best ball league for funsies where we're all putting in $5, I want to do some fast draft stuff because you can create custom non-paid leagues in there and invite friends, do the Flex 4, do some Origins. It'd be fun, play around.
To that, as far as other things to listen to, Mind and Mansion is the best.
100% gold.
Matt is growing on me. It's taken me a while because he uses the fuck words like I do, and he's just got an ego. And I
But on Mind and Mansion, he is contained
compared
because
to
he's
where?
yeah.
He says that too. He'll be like, dude, I was just some punk on the internet. And I'm like, I still feel like you're a punk on the internet. So I was telling you the other day, I listened to the one that you sent me, he was on it with RC.
Yep. And RC Fisher, by the way, is a gold mine.
He was making claims that were so absurd.
Hey, I got a question for you. Where do you think RC Fisher has Caleb Williams ranked overall? Like overall. What number? Overall ranking number.
Compared to other quarterbacks or just people?
Overall. What number is Caleb Williams?
I can't go that low. I don't know what that low is. I would say he probably has him as like the 20th best quarterback. So what is the 20th best quarterback? Like 200?
You're pretty close.
I mean, he was so down on him the moment after Caleb Williams made that incredible pass to Roma Tunze. And I was like, oh, that's so rude. It's just rude.
You know what's great though is like, so if Caleb Williams goes off, he's gonna get lit up, right? But the thing is like, if you follow the fantasy footballers, if you follow ESPN, CBS, all the repeat each other kind of podcasts, you'll never gain an edge.
Yes. Actually, you know what's funny was I took a whole break of a week from the footballers and I listened to it's not Mind and Mansion. It's their bigger brand. I think it just might be Player Profiler. It was just Player Profiler where it's like all of the people associated with them.
Well, under the Player Profiler umbrella, there's like 20 different shows.
Right. So I listened to, because I was we got back and I was running and biking and whatever. And then I listened to like Sleepers, and there were on footballers, and there was so much regurgitated, like even citing Roto World, Player Profile World. Sorry, even citing Player Profile World, the fantasy footballers were citing things like, I don't know, I don't even know his fucking name, but like Benson or whatever that guy's name is, or like, I mean, they were all up on Michael Wilson suddenly, and then Roman Wilson, and they were like, it was really fascinating when they got to Sleepers. Their homework had been, which is good homework, to listen to guys who do really deep dives.
Yeah.
But you're right. Do you really think that Ladd McConkey is going to be better than Marvin Harrison Jr.? Because that's RC's take, is that it's not close. It's not close. And that when Caleb Williams and Marvin Harrison Jr. fail as can't miss prospects, the whole, scouting fucking is up on its arms. And he's not right, or sorry, he's not wrong that Bryce, he was just in systems that couldn't fail. And I really hope for that person, Bryce Young, that he wins now, that he has Canellis or whatever that guy's name is. But he looks like shit. So, like, he's not wrong that was the wrong 101 pick. Not for fantasy, for the NFL. And he nailed that landing. But he said that Drake May is the best pick in this year's quarterback draft. And I'm like,
Will Levis.
Sorry. My fault. Yeah, you're right. Will Levis. That's a hot take.
It is. And so that might be his shtick, right?
Right.
But if you want to gain an edge, you got to look for an edge. And do I ingest everything that RC Fisher says as like, oh, this is everything he says is true? No. But look for edges from other really smart analysts.
Right.
And RC Fisher is really smart. Really smart.
He's very convincing. He has talked me completely out of Marvin Harrison. So, for example, Derek and I draft tomorrow.
He talked us. We had the 101.
I know.
In the Player Profiler Patron League. We had the 101.
Yes.
And he burned Caleb Williams to the ground.
Yeah.
Not that Caleb Williams is going to be a total failure.
I hope not.
But it was convincing enough that we're like, all right, let's move off it. And we got Jamar Chase and a second round rookie pick out of it. And like, okay.
Freaking awesome.
I'm pretty good with that. I got a guaranteed asset.
Right.
And another dart throw. And actually two more dart throws in that deal.
Mm-hmm. No,
two more late rounders off of Cody Carpentier. And then RC Fisher said, now what you do is you go get Will Levis. I was like, bro, Cody's got Will Levis. He's like, oh, yeah, good luck with that. Because Cody's the biggest Will Levis fan in the world.
Yeah. I do think that
I am really excited to watch Will Levis. Like, out of the top 5 things I want to see happen this year or watch this year.
Yeah.
I'm excited to watch Will Levis just YOLO.
I think Tennessee in redraft, I have Ridley as one of my like mid-round or running or wide receivers that I have to get. So that's what I was going to say. In redraft, because of RC, I'm so off of Marvin Harrison Jr. that I'm going running back at the 112 turn. And then I'm just lighting up wide receivers and then picking up Jaden Daniels or Herbert or whomever. And it's fucking all RC's fault. Like, God, I can't get him out of my head.
I know. You should subscribe. You should check out his rankings. It is wild.
His rankings are wild.
Pay him a few bucks, get his rankings. Here, let's play this game.
Oh, shit.
Where does RC Fisher have Will Levis ranked overall?
Okay. Dynasty redraft.
Dynasty Superflex.
Oh, shit. Okay. Overall, I'm going to say 8th round.
No.
Higher or lower? Oh, sorry. Lower numbers or higher numbers?
Lower number, up higher in the draft. Sooner.
He has him sooner than they threw out.
Yeah.
Okay. I told you that today. I was like, dude, in our league, Levis is going to go in the 6th. Does he have Levis in the 6th?
No. No. Not even close.
Shut the fuck up. Where does he have
Keep
Levis?
climbing.
I'm 4th?
No.
2nd.
Yeah.
No.
16th overall. I know.
Dude.
Unlike I have Player Profiler and RC Fisher's FF. So full shout out to RC Fisher. I love it. ffmetrics.com. Wonderful, rudimentary one-man show, making his own website. Anyway,
I'm a big fan.
he has Will Levis at 16th overall.
He's just crazy.
Yeah.
He says shit.
Above CD, above Jordan Love, Isaiah Pacheco, Lamar Jackson, Jahmyr Gibbs, AJ Brown, Devon A-Chain, Brees Hall, blah, da. Yeah, and you already guessed where Caleb Williams is. I'm trying to cross off people. I have this cheat sheet. I'm trying to cross off these folks. I can't even find Caleb Williams. I give up. I'm not even gonna bother. He's too far down.
So I think that's it. It is fun. It's also like everything in our world, right? It's an inundation of information, and when you get it from a really smart person, and like I'm not watching every throw because he says I watched every throw that Will Levis threw last year, and I'm like, but I didn't. So I have to believe you. Okay, I want to see this now. Hold on, I gotta zoom. Can I zoom in? Oh, you're zooming in on this.
All right, so I've got Player Profiler and RC Fisher.
Oh my God, it's 16. I know they're such big Josh Jacobs fans. Holy crap. Hey, take Mr. Penix off there because I love him.
Yeah, I want the big Penix energy.
I'm a big Penix guy. I think, it might have been that actual podcast where it talked about. No, I don't think it was. I forget whose podcast it was. You've definitely.
Caleb Williams is 85. Sorry, I was exaggerating.
Yeah. That's still so low for the 101. But there was a who was it who was talking about what starting player needs to be most worried about an injury and getting Wally pipped? You know who Wally Pipp is?
Let me think about that.
First of all, do you know the analogy? You know who Wally Pipp is?
No, but I can get the analogy.
So Wally Pipp was first baseman. Tommy knows this. Wally Pipp was the first baseman for the Yankees in the 20s. And Wally Pipp had a great game, had a great career. He might even be a Hall of Famer. And he decided to take a Friday off. He was tired. Fair. And Lou Gehrig stepped in. Lou Gehrig played another 2,100 games in a row. Wally Pipp never fucking started at first base again. And so, who is your Wally Pipp this season? I know, dude. It's a great story.
You just set the bar way higher.
I think there's a Wally Pipp this season.
Braylon Allen, Brees Hall.
Oh, no way. That's so high.
No? Lower? Okay.
Well, I just don't think Brees Hall is
Yeah. So the problem is that you're running into institutional
Right.
preference.
Well, and 50-50, like in that, at that position, you can go 50-50.
Yeah. Okay.
But that's not a terrible call. I really hope
Oh,
that doesn't happen because he's my keeper. I fucking love Breeze.
Wally pipped. Can you give me the position?
I think it's quarterback.
Okay. Wally pipped at quarterback. It's got to be a rookie.
Mm-hmm.
I got to say Michael Penix.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like imagine
Yeah.
if Atlanta, like we could pull up Atlanta's schedule right now, right? So imagine if Atlanta goes out and they're 2-2. And, Cousins struggles through a third or fifth game and something gets kind of hurt.
Yeah.
And then in comes the big penis and he wins the game.
X.
Sorry. Did I say that?
Yeah, you got to get the X in there. You can say P-nix. You can't say penis.
It's a slur. It's not my fault. It's not my fault. And the big penis comes in and wins the game. And then maybe Kirk has to sit out a game. It's a concussion, whatever. Penix wins another game. What do they do? Because you know that next year, Minnesota needs a quarterback. You know that the Raiders need a quarterback. You know that who else needs a quarterback? Maybe Dallas. Let's go Dak. Right? Like, there are teams. So you're like, Kirk, we got you. And then all of a sudden, the big Penix is there. So I'm a big fan. And RC was the one who was talking about this. So I don't remember who actually brought up the Wally Pip thing, but he was talking about if Penix didn't have, like, I forget what happened in his college career. A long college career, I think because of injuries. Is that right? Anyway, it doesn't matter. Not the point. But he was saying, had he not had certain issues, he is a 101 draft pick, winning everything. I mean, it is like that guy is the Heisman. He's won a Heisman. He's going 101. He's not behind Kirk Cousins. I'm all in.